So as you've probably noticed from class and the video, long division with polynomials is not fun or desirable to do at all. So a shortcut method, which is the same thing and it's based on the same ideas, has been created. It's called synthetic division. It's the same thing. It only has some limitations. That's why I don't recommend it. But if you have the right situation, you could use it to help you. So it requires that this term be x. It cannot be x squared, it cannot be 2x, it cannot be 10x squared. It could be y, it could be z, but it can't be anything more complicated than a variable to the first power. Alright, that's the one requirement to do it. And it can be plus or minus anything, as long as it's a number. Okay, so let's look at synthetic division. Significantly easier to do. We set up a little table here, and you'll see some parallels between the process used to find our answer and synthetic division. Firstly, we're going to use the coefficients of what we're dividing up here. So 2, 3, negative 11, and negative 6. Okay, and since we're dividing by x plus 5, we're actually going to use a negative 5 as our divisor, and the reason for that is all the times we have to subtract our value. So in order to avoid having to remember to subtract the value, we're just going to make it negative in advance. Alright, so here's what happens. The first term, when you divide it, will automatically have the same coefficient, as long as this is a 1 here, because 1 will go into 2 times. So this first term will always just drop down. Okay? And now, just like in division, after we get our first coefficient, we multiply it by this term. So in this case, it's negative 5. So 2 times negative 5, this 2 times this negative 5 will be negative 10. And now, because we've already made this negative, we don't have to subtract it. We could just add. That's why this is negative. 3 plus negative 10 is negative 7. Now we're going to do the same thing. Negative 7 times negative 5 is positive 35. And we will add downwards and we will get positive 24. These should all look familiar. They also came up here. And same thing, 24 times negative 5 is negative 120. This is our remainder. If we put that together, we get negative 126. Alright, so these are actually the coefficients of our new polynomial, and this is the remainder. So our answer we can write down is 2x to the second, and the reason it's to the second is because this was to the third, so it's going to become 1 degree smaller. This is negative 7x plus 24, our constant term, plus our remainder, which is negative 126, and x over 5s, x plus 5s, because that's what we were dividing by. We could also write it this way. Forgot to mention this yesterday. Plus 24 minus positive 126 over x plus 5. Either of those is correct. Personally, I would use this one. The remainder should be negative. Alright, so synthetic division is significantly easier if you understand it. Or if you can at least see that it works, and that you can see the parallels. This 2 came here because x goes in here evenly. After the subtraction, there will be after the subtraction, which is here, there'll be a 7 here, and the x will go into the 7x squared evenly 7 times, and so on. So it all makes sense, sort of.